Hello and welcome back. The purpose, as you would recall, is of this channel is to help sharing with you 40 years of experience in business and in academia via communicating with you via concepts. And the concept that we have discussed now and finished a few weeks ago was the concept of VVMOST, which is the concept of values, vision, mission, objectives, strategy, and tactics. And the purpose of this particular video is to wrap up that concept and to start generally introducing the next concept as well at the end of it via mentioning a little bit about it and then having a video over the next concept at the next publication. If you recall, I made quite a bit of a fuss about VVMOST and the importance of values and vision and mission and objectives, and we went through quite a bit in terms of why they're important and how we must have them and how we must declare them and where do they show and what are the proof points and so on. In honesty, you could easily find very successful business people who do not wish to necessarily declare their values and vision and mission and so on to the world in a big way. What these sort of confident and successful business people tend to believe that their values and vision and mission and strategies show themselves and come across to the market via their products and via their services and via the way they behave and their style and make up the brand that people buy into. Okay, while other business people will look at it and say, "Oh no," equally successful, equally confident, who would look at that and say, "No, I must declare and I must show the proof points because it is part of me showing the stakeholders," and that is the next concept of how I am really confident of my various elements of VVMOST. Either way, whichever way you tend to be, whether you're the type that likes to shout them out of the rooftops or the type that likes to make sure that they show themselves in a big way, in a clear way, the real important point is not whether you're one or the other. The important point is how do your stakeholders in the business or in your personal life subscribe or see your implementation of these sub-concepts. So because your stakeholders which is the next concept, who are, whether they're your shareholders or employees or suppliers or the community at large around you, need to buy into these values and vision and mission and objectives and the way you're going to do things through your strategies. Otherwise, they will stop supporting you. At a personal level, it's the same thing. It's your friends and your family and your customers and your bank manager and so on. If they don't believe in the way you have set up the business with specific objectives and specific values and vision, then they will stop supporting you as well. So, and that would cause mega issues. I mean, to give you an example or two, an example of Heathrow. Okay, so for example, Heathrow, everybody knows that Heathrow needs a third runway. We've known Heathrow needed a third runway for about 30-40 years. There's been two major reports about saying Heathrow needs a third runway, okay, but it hasn't had one. And I would submit to you that one of the main reasons why Heathrow hasn't had a third runway is because the stakeholders have not agreed on the various elements of the values and vision and mission objectives and the purpose and the whole brand of what Heathrow is all about and what it should do. So for example, you'll find some stakeholders that agree with these and their alignment and in terms of VVMOST, and some stakeholders don't agree with it. I will be saying quite a bit more about that in the next video that discusses stakeholders. Similarly, I will just mention it now, within a National Health Service. I'll submit to you also that there are so many stakeholders for the National Health Service, and although we love it and adore it, and it works reasonably well when it comes to the urgent stuff, it can be made much more productive and much more successful. But the stakeholders pull it apart as well for a variety of reasons, which I'll discuss a little bit more about. So the whole idea of VVMOST, in my opinion, it's not about whether you declare that or not, okay? It's about whether it comes across in some form or another to the critical and important stakeholders, or even the non-ones, okay, who could club together to potentially stop you from achieving your objectives. So the important point is making sure two things: that it makes sense to your stakeholders and it aligns well with your declared objectives and your delivery to the marketplace of how you want to deliver. Okay, next we will be talking about stakeholders in much more detail.